Let's do it. Hello, wrestling world, and welcome to Wrestling on the Rise, where we talk anything and everything wrestling. I'm your host, Rich Michaels, and on this episode, we will talk a little bit of ROH, WWE SummerSlam, and NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3. Plus, I got results of last episode's What Moves You and a new matchup that will guarantee to leave you stomped. Plus, I also have a one-on-one sit-down interview with the man that's behind one of Ontario's newest wrestling organizations, AWE, Mr. Adam James. He invited me to his house for this one-on-one interview, and we will discuss everything and anything you need to know about AWE. So stay tuned for that. And let's not waste any time, so let's get started. So, during ROH's UK tour, they crowned a new ROH six-man tag team champions in the Young Bucks and Adam Hangman Page, now known as the Hung Bucks. Okay, they defeated Dalton Castle and the boys. So, congratulations to the Hung Bucks. So now, at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3, there were a lot of surprises, like Sanity, new tag champs, and Drew McIntyre, the new NXT champs, and something else happened. What else? Oh yeah, the debut of Red Dragon and Adam Cole, baby. Awesome, right? Oh yeah, plus, I was 3-2 in my predictions. Just saying. Now for SummerSlam was truly a special event, having 13 matches and 6 hours of action-packed wrestling with 5 title changes. And plus, I was 10-3 on my predictions. And if you guys miss both of these awesome action-packed wrestling events, log on to the WWE Network and watch them. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. Now it's time for What Moves You. Last episode move was the Cutter. And with another commanding lead with 79%, Randy Orton, as you guys voted, is the master of the Cutter with his RKO finisher. So I want to thank everybody who voted last week, and trust me guys, this week will guarantee to leave you stomped. Here's why. Because the move is the double leg stomp off the top rope. And the competitors are Finn Balor, Low Key, Shane Strickland, and Hideo Itami. Now, you guys can vote in the comments below, or you can vote on Twitter or Instagram at Wrestling on the One, and please don't forget to use the hashtag Wrestling on the Rise alongside of your vote. So, here in Ontario, wrestling is definitely on the rise, especially with a new company called AWE, that's Absolute Wrestling Entertainment, and their inaugural show, Absolute AWE, happening on October 15th, would definitely display that. So, as a treat for my viewers, I got a sit-down one-on-one interview with the man in the suit that's behind AWE, Mr. Adam James. Check it out. Hey everybody, Rich Michaels here, and I'm here with Adam James. He is the magician in the suit behind the magic of Ontario's newest wrestling organization, AWE, and that's Absolute Wrestling Entertainment, okay? And don't forget to catch their inaugural event, Absolute AWE, or Absolute Awe, which is on October 15th, right here in Hamilton at the Royal Canadian Legion number 58. Adam James, nice to meet you.
Rich, thank you very much for coming all the way to Hamilton from Brampton, I believe.
Yes, Brampton, Ontario.
5 o'clock traffic on the highway is no good, so I do appreciate the patience that you went to come out here and talk to me today, and especially welcoming you in my home. Actually,
Yes.
the first time I've ever done an interview in my own personal house, in my personal space, for that matter. So it's a great honor to have you here today, Rich.
Thank you for having me. So, Mr. James, where did you get the idea of AWE?
AWE actually stemmed from me actually wanting to become a professional manager within the business. I've never been a part of wrestling. I've always been a fan since the age of 3. I'm 32 now, so that actually gives me 29 years of being a fan. I always had a great interest for it, the storyline development, the behind the scenes stuff, the production, everything that you can think about wrestling, what goes into a show, or a talent, or creating a storyline. That's what I love about the business. So it's something that I've always had in the back of my mind. Prior to that though, Rich, I actually owned a record label in college. I dropped out, used my tuition money to fund and create my own record label. I ended up making a profit off that and selling it off to a good friend as well. So after that, I noticed a trend in the music scene and it was starting to dip down. the direction, of the music that I prefer to work with wasn't doing so great at the time because of this pop stuff coming out, and it changed the course of, punk rock a little bit. So I branched off and actually started working with professional mixed martial artists, managing UFC athletes, or athletes that compete in the UFC, I should say, Bellator, other big organizations across the states. Eventually getting out of that because of my professional marketing job that I do 14 hours a day. Still having that passion, and I've now a financial backing to do everything on my own. I've actually decided to take the step forward of actually getting involved in the wrestling business. And my first and initial thought was wanting to become, believe it or not, a wrestling professional manager. Okay. On storyline, on camera, around the ring, working with the top heel in my mind, being that heel manager and, trying to get that talent over. I was fortunate to know a guy that's training at the Hamilton Pro Wrestling facility, which, if you don't know, is actually owned by a gentleman by the name of Dave Savelli, one of the nicest guys in the world. Yes, Rip, I'm putting you over. If you don't know his ring name is Rip Impact.
Shout out to Rip Impact.
Definitely. Greatest guy, nicest guy, hardworking guy, pro for 15 plus years. I couldn't have gone to a better guy to, negotiate and talk about, this idea that I had about becoming a manager. Once talking to him for about over an hour, he took the time out of his day to meet up with me. We had an hour conversation. After that hour, I realized, maybe the management side of it isn't for me. And I went back home. I stewed. I pondered. I thought about it for a little bit, Rich. And then all of a sudden, I just had to shoot him a text and ask him, what will it take for me to run my own professional wrestling entertainment business? And, we ended up meeting up again within a half hour. And next thing I knew, the ball was rolling. Now, the name itself, going back to your original question, I love acronyms. I use them in my marketing business as a training tool for helping, people maintain information that they need to use in the field or within the business. No better acronym than AW, again, representing Absolute Wrestling Entertainment.
So why Hamilton as its first city to hold its first event? And is Hamilton the permanent home for AWE, or are you guys be traveling Ontario or Canada or so forth?
Hamilton, because I've lived here for 8 years. No, I'm not I'm not born and raised here, but I have adjusted to the lifestyle of the city, and I've noticed a trend. Like most big cities, there's not a lot of options for youth to get out there, and there's not many outlets or positive outlets for them to get attached to and, spend their time doing. So I took this as an opportunity to give them an alternative form of entertainment. Yes, a lot of people look at wrestling as a violent sport. I look at it as a form of entertainment. Hence the name, but also as an example of what not to be in real life. If you look at professionals in any sport, generally they're great role models because they have a hard work ethic and great standards, and they're able to reach out to those fans and those general population people on social media, whatever, through any media outlets, and of course, set that example and lead from the front and be a true leader, not only in their sport as a teammate or, a player on the field, or an athlete in the ring, but outside that ring as well. We eventually do, plan to branch out not too far away. Of course, our main focus is on Hamilton, Rich. Of course, I'm working with Kiwanis, the children youth just down the street. Donated 2 tickets to their club as well, just as a giveaway, so we can, gain some more, get some more kids out there, make it more aware of what's actually going on and what these wrestling events are actually showing, rather than, just an opinion-based and people not coming to the shows and not actually know what's going on, and examples that we plan to set with this.
So on your card, you have some of Ontario's best wrestlers. I mean, in your main event, you got Rip Impact versus Josh Alexander versus Tyson Dukes for the AWE Championship. So how did you get the idea to put these 3 tremendous wrestlers together in a match for your most prestigious prize?
Well, that's a great question, Rich, because it was actually the first match that I booked on the card. Now, there's 7 great matches on the card. We got a great tag team match with a team that has never teamed up. They've been both here in singles competition. But I'm talking about Gabriel Ferwerza and, Von Vertigo, Fight or Flight. They've never teamed in Hamilton. So we're teaming them up against, the Right Makers, Mark Wheeler, Holden Albright. 2 teams that have now just started actually getting to compete against each other. Originally, when I booked it, they've never matched. I know other promotions are taking notice, I'd like to think, and using those 2 teams and utilizing them in front of their audiences. We're bringing in Cody Diener. You mentioned Top Stars of Ontario. Bam, there's one right at the top as well. It's hard to decide who's number one, but if you're going to pick a top 5, that gentleman's name is definitely up there on that top 5 list. And, against a guy like Hipstar, it's definitely going to be entertaining, maybe a comedy show. But again, you never know what to expect with either of these guys, especially Hipstar, if you do follow him on social media. So we're looking forward to that as well. And getting to your answering your question there, just gonna plug a few more matches that you deserve a little bit of credit as well, Rich. Chelsea Green coming in from TNA Impact or Global Impact, coming in, which you can watch on TV weekly. Facing off against our female competitor that we consider a hometown hero and beautiful Bia. Someone that's fought the best, matched with the best, has gone over the best. So we're gonna give her the ultimate test and see if she's one of the ladies that we want to put in our eventually women's championship match when we do introduce that title. And of course, the special guest referee is a very well-known opponent of hers, Leah Vaughn, another top Canadian. If you're talking about top 5 athletes within the country, she's gonna ref this. She swears by heart that there's no funny business. She's gonna call it straight down the middle, so I'm told. Even though she just matched up with Bia not too long ago, I'm expecting her to be a professional in the ring and with the zebra stripes on. So I'm expecting a clean 1, 2, 3 or a tap out finish. Excellent match, though. I'm highly looking forward to it. And we're glad to bring back the Canadian Chelsea Green because she's so busy in the U.S. down south. We haven't got to see her up there that much. Like you said, the top 3 guys in Ontario, in my opinion, they've been around combined probably over 50 years experience within the wrestling industry. They know the ins and outs of the ring. They know how to help people out, get over. They know how to build talent, and they know how to put themselves over as well and give the fans an enjoyable match each and every time they go out. True professionals at heart, inside and outside of the ring. There's 3 guys that I couldn't think of better to represent, or at least one of them to represent and become the first ever inaugural AWE World Champion. So I decided, the best way to do that, instead of 1 pinfall, I'd rather see 2. So instead of a normal triple threat match, throw them in there in a 3-way style elimination to determine that number 1 champion.
So your second event now, which is All or Nothing, which is on December 3rd, right here in Hamilton at the same location. Do you have any more surprises regarding that?
Well, I'm actually getting surprised right now because originally I will go on record saying that All Ego, Ethan Page, is officially signed for December 3rd, All or Nothing, our second event in December in Hamilton at the Royal Canadian Legion. But apparently he's bringing 2 guests. Those 2 guests are unknown. We're still trying to get to the bottom of this. I've tried to contact Ethan about this. We've talked about, him coming down, confirming that he is coming. But anytime that I've brought up the mentioning of it to anyone, no one seems to have an idea. And if anyone should, you'd think it would be me. But apparently, no one knows. So it's going to be a surprise for everybody that attends that show live. So
There's the surprises right there. You heard it. The suit doesn't even know the surprises.
The suit doesn't even know. That's right, Rich.
So about this TV deal, you had a press conference yesterday, or press release. Can you give the viewers more insight on the TV deal?
Definitely. Highly excited about this TV deal, Rich. For an event or a promotion that's never held one event and being able to build that relationship with not only the city of Hamilton, but a broadcasting network out of Hamilton as well, our targeted area, our home base, means the world to me. That means they believe in what we're doing, what we plan to do, and set as an example as a proper form of entertainment for the city of Hamilton. Now, not only is this available for the kids and the people that can make it out to the live event, but now you can sit in the comfort of your own home. If for some reason, you get a speeding ticket, you've got unpaid tickets, and you end up in jail, and that's the only reason you can't make it to the live event, right? You better be in jail. But if that's the case, you can also check it in on Cable 14. We're going to be releasing it over 4 episodes. So the first 3 episodes will hold 2 matches each. We're going to divide the card up. We're going to put 2 matches on each card, and then, of course, the 4th episode of Volume 1, or Season 1, we'll call it, will actually hold the main event by itself on a half-hour time slot.
Awesome.
So we're going to break it down over a month for one event, and then when we move into the second event, we'll be ready to roll again.
For Season 2.
For Season 2. You betcha, sir.
Well, that's it, guys. That's Adam James for AWE. He is the suit or the magician behind the magic. And don't forget, Absolute AWE is on October 15th right here in Hamilton at the Royal Canadian Legion number 58. I'm Rich Michaels. Peace, guys. So, before I end the show, just want to give a special thank you to AWE and Mr. James for inviting me to his house for the interview. And guys, don't forget to vote for what moves you in the comments below or on Instagram and Twitter at Wrestling on the One. And don't forget to use the hashtag Wrestling on the Rise alongside your vote. And for next week, I will be at Lucha Tio's Battle Rock at Lee's Palace. So come down and check us out over there. Until then, guys, peace. See you next week.